is your name and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Brooke Helms. I'm the sports dietitian for football here at the University of Louisville. My official title is Associate Director of Performance Nutrition. I mostly am in charge of football, sports nutrition, but I do also work with softball and men and women's golf on campus.
How much training do you have?
I have a dietetic internship that is an 18-month program, as well as a full year, 12 months experience volunteer internship here at the University of Louisville. And then I've been in my current position for 3 years.
What certificates or degrees do you need?
For this job, to be a registered dietitian, you actually do now have to have a master's degree in nutrition. You have to complete a dietetic internship, certified dietetic internship program, as well as to be a specialized dietitian in sports nutrition. You have to take a test and you have to work so many hours in sports nutrition field, and that degree is called a certified specialist in sports dietetics, which I do have that certificate as well. It's not required, but it is a special certification.
What's the hardest part of your job?
I think the hardest part of my job is probably motivating athletes or encouraging athletes daily to buy into the nutrition component of their performance and get them to understand how important nutrition is for performance and change habits.
What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job, I would say, is when an athlete actually buys into it and is motivated and wants nutrition to be a special component of their performance and understands the importance of it and truly tries harder to make sure nutrition is a better component of their sport.
With your degrees and all, what are other things that people can do with your training?
Other things that people can do with my training, sports-wise, they could work in gyms. They could work in training facilities, so NFL, MLB, NBA training facilities are big now, where athletes go train for college football players go train for combine, and then NFL, NBA, MLB players come back and train in their off season at these facilities. So training facilities, gyms, and then as a regular dietitian, you can do a variety of other things. Hospitals, food service, but sports related, specific, mostly college athletics, professional associations, and then training facilities.
Can you describe a typical day?
I cannot. I actually do not have a typical day. Every day is different in my job. It could be anywhere from meeting with athletes one-on-one in my office to attending a lift, post-lift education, to educating at dinners, to planning meals, to taste testing at certain restaurants to bring in meetings. So it's different every single day, but I personally like that, so it's not the same thing all the time.
How do you motivate your student athletes?
That is probably the hardest part of my job. I think motivation has to come mostly from within in this field. I think being an athlete, you depend a lot on the athletes to challenge themselves and to have that mentality that they want to, be internally motivated, but also I think just encouragement and visibility and caring about the athletes also can help motivate them. If you're encouraging and motivate them, then they sometimes become more motivated in themselves.
How does your job impact student athlete success?
I think my job is very important to athlete success, or I would not do it. Specific ways, my job is mostly educating. So educating student athletes on what they can do to make their game better than where they are right now, and how nutrition, can not only help them, but it can actually hurt them if they do it wrong. So certain things called medical nutrition therapy, where some athletes have type 1 diabetes, have colitis, have heart diseases, or conditions that actually require special nutrition help to allow them to even be on the field or be successful.
What helps you maintain a positive motivational climate for your student athletes?
I think me personally, always being positive. You're never going to get everyone to agree with you, but I think that consistency and persistence with them and always and building relationships with them. I think letting them know that you actually care. I think is huge.
Is your job physically or mentally draining?
Yes. I think like most jobs that can be, physically the hours are long. You're here when everybody else is here. Mentally, I think just on the planning side of things, it takes a lot to plan food for 150 people all the time. So I think mentally draining, yeah, that comes along with it. But at the same time, there's a lot more positives than worried about it being draining.
What level of involvement do you have with your student athletes on a daily basis?
So I'm with the student athletes more. I interact with them for about 75% of my day. I eat dinner. Obviously, I'm with football team every night at dinner, 5 nights a week. In the season, I'm with them 7 days a week. I travel with the football team. You're here 12-hour days. When they're here, you're here. So it's definitely 24, or definitely at least 12 hours a day of interaction or face-to-face interaction.
How much control do you have in the day-to-day aspects of your job?
I can control, as far as nutrition goes, the food. I control all of the menus. I write the menus. I select what we have, who we have. Any meals that happen go through me, and I plan them and organize them. So as far as what food I supply to student athletes, I have full control of that. Outside of that, as far as budget, that's where I don't have control. So it is difficult once you get involved with money, and then also players' likes. You can't just get what they need all the time, because if they don't eat it, then you're not serving a purpose. So as far as what we get, that's probably the most control I have is food ordering.
Do you take pride in your job?
Yes, I take immense pride in my job. I think what I do is important, and I'm very passionate about it, and the pride comes from wanting to share that with all the student athletes.
What gives you the most satisfaction?
I think that the most satisfaction that I get is from that moment when student athletes actually get it. I call it when the light bulb actually goes off in their head. So it sounds like I'm nagging a lot, but I just try and try and try. I don't stop. And eventually at some point, athletes get to the point where they're either injured, and then finally nutrition becomes important to them, where nutrition can actually get them on the field faster, but they didn't realize how much it could help them before. So, injured state or post-surgery, when they're out for 5-6 months and they don't have football to depend on to keep them going, then I start to get with them, and then that gives me satisfaction, because not only knowing that nutrition actually helps them and is making a difference, but that they actually want to know about it too. So when it gets to the point where an athlete wants to know more about nutrition and wants nutrition to be a component of their sport and of their lives, that's where I get satisfaction. When guys, usually it happens when they go off to the NFL or to a professional league, and they come back and say, what you taught me, I could carry over and help me perform better in the next level, and that's where I find the most satisfaction, is not just educating and helping them with what they need to know right now here in college, but preparing them to move on and go to that next level and carry on nutrition with them for the rest of their lives, and not just in college.